We're going to do a call and response. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Take a drink. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. In the back, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Fabulous, thank you.
Good.
So I can't tell you how happy and truly blessed I feel to be here today. But before I really get into what I want to talk about tonight, I want to share 3 things. First, I want to share a secret. Second, I want to share a disclaimer. And third, I want to share a joke. If you want to know the secret.
Yes.
The secret is, I'm not supposed to be standing up here tonight. I'm supposed to be sitting right over there. Why am I standing here? Because the keynote speaker, Mike Graglia, he's the co-founder of SRF. He is in a major crisis right now. He's in crisis mode. And I'll tell you why. This past Thursday, Mike's son Tony, who is a Syngapian, went to his first day back at school, and it did not go well. In fact, it went as bad as it can go. So, Mike is with his family, and I'm here. Tony is in crisis mode, and his family is in crisis mode, and that school is in crisis mode. And it's so common, so very common for our families to have crises like these unexpectedly, out of nowhere, no trigger. It happens all the time. So you're stuck with me tonight. But the good news is you will get to meet Mike later on in a video, so at least you will get to hear his voice and see him. And now here's my disclaimer. I will likely get very emotional tonight. And it's because events like these really hit me in the most raw place, because not only does it remind me of how hard it is to be a caregiver of a child who has a significant disability. It's relentless. But I am so grateful to be among all of you and to see your generosity, because I hope that because of your gift and your openness and your friendship and your money, that one day my child can be like most of yours and live a typical life. But that's not even the whole truth of why I might get emotional tonight. I am pregnant, but it's not mine. You were not expecting that, were you? That's the joke. I am a surrogate. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, but I would like for you to indulge me for just a minute. Please locate a green envelope underneath all of your chairs and stand up.
Under your chair somewhere.
I have to say, this crowd is among the most beautiful people I've seen in a very long time. Now take a look around you. There are a lot of people here tonight. And each one of you are now holding an envelope that could potentially change your entire life. Open your envelope and remove the card. What do you see?
Nothing.
If your card is blank, please sit down. You are the lucky ones.
Stay standing. Stay standing. Stay.
Now look at who remains standing. These people represent the group of people in our world who struggle with symptoms of SYNGAP1 and are either undiagnosed with a different debilitating genetic disorder or completely misdiagnosed altogether. Some are considered to be on the autism spectrum. Some have epilepsy and seizures. Some have multiple, all, more symptoms than that. But having these symptoms alone does not guarantee that you will receive a diagnosis of a genetic disorder. For those of you who are still standing, if the card in your envelope reads symptoms, intellectual disability, autism, epilepsy, please be seated. There's only a handful left, right? These 5 of you represent the small but growing number of humans around the world who are diagnosed with SYNGAP1. In this whole room, there's only you few. That's how rare this disease is and how lonely it can be. There's no reason, there's no pattern. It's just chance and bad luck. Thank you. You may be seated. At this point, I'm supposed to read a pre-prepared script because I wasn't supposed to be the one here tonight. But Suzanne, I'm sorry if I read it. I really will cry. And I'm probably going to cry anyway. But think about this for just a moment. There's about 250 of you here tonight. In this room, there are only 400 Syngapians in the United States. If all of those 400 families were like Suzanne's and like Mike's, SRF would be in a very, very good place. Not just from a financial standpoint, but from an emotional stability standpoint. How much you care about your community is palpable. And the point that I'm trying to make is that not all of our families are like Suzanne's or Mike's. And some of our families struggle just to make ends meet and struggle with their severely disabled child. And that's why we need your help. We don't have the resources, only in our small community, to make the impact that's necessary. We need our friends, we need you. We need our community to lean into, and we need you to lean back in with us. So thank you. You may be here tonight because you know one of these local Atlanta families. But some of you may need a little bit more convincing to dig a little bit deeper. I'm going to tell you why SRF is a fabulous nonprofit to donate to. I'm going to go out on a limb here and make the assumption that most of you are very well educated and wildly successful. Stop me if I'm wrong. I knew it. All right, so let me give you the logical reasons to support SRF. We are lean and we are efficient. The small number of parents and volunteers who do all of the work, both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, work their tails off, day in and day out, to make this a better world for our loved ones. Clearly, I mean, look at the tables today. They're perfect. That's all Suzanne and her committee. And because Mike's family pays for all of the operating costs, that means 100% of your donations goes directly into science and research. That's unheard of in the nonprofit world. So the ROI, through the roof. Additionally, our kids provide a natural way for brilliant people to study epilepsy and autism. You can't do to Tony or to Jansen or to Nathan what Mother Nature has already done to them and not go to jail. Because nature has tinkered with their little brains and has disabled a gene, causing them to lead a life of suffering, the least we can do is learn from them and learn from that mutation how it affects their growth, how it affects their intellect and their sleep. This will allow us to help people with autism and epilepsy who don't even know yet what's causing it. The research that we're doing is informing knowledge broadly about epilepsy and autism, and that is a direct result of the research we have funded. 1 in 26 people in the US has epilepsy, and 1 in 54 kids born today in this country are born with autism. We don't know why these numbers are so high, but they keep growing. By supporting SRF and funding our research, you're not only helping the people who you know have SYNGAP, the few of us, but you are helping all of those other thousands of people who don't even know what's causing their epilepsy or their autism yet. And many of those are well into the future. They may not be born yet. So I really want to break this down because it is crucial to understand the benefits of what we're doing. There are only 400 patients diagnosed with SYNGAP in America, but the data tell us that there are thousands. There are a lot of kids out there who don't yet have a diagnosis. And what drives us is that this work that we're doing will help them. Your philanthropy, your generosity are helping these people who don't yet know. It's isolating. But as more people are genetically sequenced, more patients will be diagnosed. So, welcome to that future. So many of the maladies that we know as autism and epilepsy are caused by a genetic mutation. And the way to fix them is to get to the root of that cause, not to treat the symptoms. We need to fix it at the source. And the treatments that we're talking about and that SRF is funding today sound futuristic. And they are, but that's exciting. It's exciting because for the first time in human history, this generation will have genetic treatments and a cure that will improve their lives. Kids will. They can, Suzanne, and they will have effective treatments. The symptoms that the genetic mutation that Mother Nature has bestowed on all these children don't have to be the end of their stories. So quote me when I say that we are going to cure this disease. Please join me, join Suzanne, join Mike, join all of the families who strive and pray and do all of the things that we can possibly do. Help us cure SYNGAP1 sooner. So, there's a chance that this baby has SYNGAP1. There's always a chance. But I want to work fast enough and hard enough so that if in a few years he's diagnosed with autism or epilepsy, there are already going to be treatments in place and available to him and to his parents. It is not easy to raise a child with SYNGAP, and I want our generation to be the last. Thank you for allowing me to share my story and for the opportunity to be here with you tonight.